That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This week we are bringing you episode 42, St. Valentine's Day Massacre from February 1999. I'm Mike Prue, along with JV. JV, we're back at it again this week. How you doing?
Doing well, man. What's the deal with so the St. Valentine's Day Massacre? Didn't they end up making a movie in like the early 2000s under the same name?
No, I don't think it's the same name, but I know what you're talking about.
It was like a rip-off of like I Know What You Did Last Summer,
right.
Scream. Like
Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yeah. The murderer had a Cupid mask. It was like a little cherub.
It's like a fat Cupid.
No, that's a newer movie. That's Happy Death Day.
Okay. All right.
But yeah,
another shitty.
But maybe it was movie. Another chubby mask. Come to think of it. Shit, what was that movie? It was something to do with Valentine's murder or something.
I will tell you this: these Halloween, holiday-themed horror movies all suck, except for the original Halloween. Yeah. Anything that has to do with Christmas, except Gremlins. Gremlins was kind of
good. But that wasn't like Christmas.
It didn't have Christmas in the name.
In the title,
it was like Christmas, Merry Christmas Gremlins or something.
It was like Silent Night, Deadly Night.
yeah. Like Jack Frost and Santa Claus, right?
Well, not the Jack Frost with Michael Keaton. The other.
There's the horror movie Jack Frost.
Yeah.
There's some like famous '90s vixen whose titties are in it. I think like Shannon Elizabeth's are in it. Yeah,
I think so.
Watched that back in the day.
Oh, the movie! I just looked it up. The movie's called Valentine. Just Valentine.
Valentine.
Yeah. 2001. So yeah, right around that time where there was that run of movies after Scream became popular in 1996.
Beating that genre to a dead pulp.
Yeah. Well, it's funny to look at the cast of Valentine. They have Denise Richards, Marley Shelton, Jessica Capshaw, and Katherine Heigl. We're all in that movie.
Katherine Heigl, she was young then.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And last week we had episode 41, which was the Corporate Gauntlet. And in the Corporate Gauntlet, Stone Cold had to go up against the entire corporation just the night before St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Not really the night before because it was a taped show that aired on Saturday. It was Raw Saturday night. They had taped it earlier in the week. So it was being pawned off as being, tomorrow night he's going to have to fight McMahon in a cage, but he has to go through the whole corporation tonight. So we broke that down last week, and that was a good episode. We had some good listens, good amount of listens for that episode. So thank you again for checking us out and spreading the word because the numbers are going up week after week. So you guys are liking it, you're sharing it. I mean, you must be sharing it if we're getting more listeners. No reason why all of a sudden we're getting new listeners out of nowhere. Just because you're spreading the word, and also our friends of podcasts that spread the word for us. That's all helping out too. Our friends like Booking the Territory, Talking Taker, Free Your Geek, all helping us out. So thanks for joining this ride. And if you're just joining now, here in February of 1999, go back in the archives and take a look at our 41 previous episodes amongst many other special bonus editions, watch-along episodes, top fives of Austin's year from 96, 97, 98. So a lot of shit out there for you to check out if you're just joining in on Stone Cold's career here on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. But with that said, we also have another show that you should definitely check out, and that's the Extreme ECW Live Cast. And last week we dropped our 6th episode, which was covering June 15th and June 22nd, 1993 of ECW Hardcore TV. And that's only available on the Booking the Territory Patreon feed, the $5 tier. So if you're interested in more from JV and I, check out the Extreme ECW Livecast on BTT Patreon. Without further ado, JV, you want to get into this St. Valentine's Day Massacre?
Yeah, let's dive right into this massacre.
And not the horror movie, even though some of the matches are kind of like a horror movie. But here we are. Before we get to the main show, we have Heat. This is episode 29 of Heat from Valentine's Day, February 14th, 1999. This is the pre-show, and it's going to start off with Mr. McMahon hyping up the crowd, which is a great concept with Heat, is that now they can do live pre-shows, and they can be on USA Network. It's not just on like the TV Guide channel and the little box on the right-hand side of the upper corner. You remember that? You remember going to like TV Guide channel? You can watch the Raw pay-per-view pre-shows?
Yep.
So no longer do they have to
TV Guide
just...
channel. That's a throwback. TV Guys in general.
Yeah.
It was like a big deal who's on the cover of those things.
Right. Yeah, and they had right around this time there was a lot of wrestlers on those TV Guides.
Yeah, I got TV Guide.
No longer did they have to rely on that channel. They could air it on USA Network, where there's going to be a larger audience of wrestling fans watching Heat that could maybe influence their parents, or if they were able to do it on their own, might be like, yeah, fuck it, I'll order this pay-per-view now. So there's their last-ditch effort to get people to get the pay-per-view in. That's what Mr. McMahon's basically doing here, and he's going to hype up the match. So let's take a listen to what he actually has to say, though.
This could be the biggest night of his life or the worst nightmare.
Thank you very much for that warm Tennessee reception.
Shane McMahon doing the introduction of his father, now joining us on commentary.
For the benefit of those of you who have some sort of retention problems, a short memory span, let me direct your attention to the screens, because I'd like to remind all of you just who won the 1999 Royal Rumble.
Oh, this is one of my favorite moments ever of all time. Last month at the Rumble, you know what happened? Yeah, Stone Cold's out there. How dumb can Austin be? I mean, check it out. And then there you see, single-handedly, Vinnie Mac tossed Stone Cold Steve Austin out to be the 1999 Royal Rumble winner. Oh, yeah,
his emotions got the best of him.
Royal Rumble, Mr. McMahon.
That was the first
That's
victory.
me.
Oh, it's so beautiful, beautiful.
However, what about Saturday Night Heat? What about last night? What about when Vince McMahon went up 2-0 on Stone Cold Steve Austin and defeated him, pinned him in the ring? 1, 2, 3. Let's take a look at that footage.
Here we go. The hits just keep better and better and better. Vinnie Mac, large and in charge, going over to there. You see Austin just hanging out, laying there.
Rendered unconscious by all the corporation.
I didn't quite see it that day. And then, what's up, 1, 2. Oh, yeah, baby. 3. Yeah, Vinnie Mac. Vinnie Mac.
The winner of this match by pinfall over Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mr. McMahon.
That made the score 2-0.
Don't make me have to go 3-0 on you, Austin, tonight.
Woo! 3-peat.
Austin, don't disgrace yourself. I appreciate the fact you gave me the opportunity so that you won't go to WrestleMania if I am out of the cage before you tonight. But we don't have to have the cage match here tonight. We don't have to do that. All you have to do, Austin,
live in his locker room,
is one last chance I'll give you. I'll give you, Austin, one last chance.
What's he talking about?
I've guaranteed you, Austin, that no corporate members will be involved in the cage. I've guaranteed you that if we have to go through it, that you and the WWF will never, ever be the same again. I have some big plans I can execute. Don't make me have to do it. Austin, I'll give you one last chance to break your contract here in Memphis tonight before we have to go to the cage.
Look at the
And
generosity.
Austin, if you don't have guts enough to come out here, then before heat is over with, Pally.
Yeah, Pally.
Now hit my music.
Loving it. Loving it. Vinnie Mac is the man. What are you going about that, Stone Cold? Vinnie Mac's coming to get you.
What is going through the mind of Stone Cold Steve Austin?
All right, so Mr. McMahon comes out there. He struts his ass out there. He reminds everybody that he won the Royal Rumble because he eliminated Stone Cold Steve Austin last. And he brings up how he pinned Austin on Raw Saturday night at the end of the Gauntlet match. He pinned Austin, even though it wasn't really part of the match. He forced the referee to make the 3 count. So he's bragging all about that. He starts talking about his cage match, and he wants to give him one last chance. We don't have to have this cage match tonight. I'm going to give you one last chance. I already guaranteed that no member of the corporation will interfere. No member of the corporation will interfere. So he said that last week. We talked about that last week, but you know, he's got a trick up his sleeve, of course, here.
Yeah, he's obviously up to something.
Right. So no member of the corporation. So yeah, that's what's going on here. And he says things will never be the same again. Never be the same again. And I have some plans I can execute. I have big plans to execute. So there's another little hint for you. You got big plans. So he's kind of just setting up what's going to happen later on the pay-per-view without really giving us too much. Because if you didn't know what was going to happen, like we do now, obviously, all this shit would just go by you, and you wouldn't even think of anything about it.
Nope.
So Stone Cold's sitting in his chair in the locker room. He's watching. He has like no expression on his face. He's just staring right at the monitor. And when I was watching, I was like, yeah, why should he give a shit what McMahon's saying? It's like he's going to have the match. He's going to kick his ass in the match later. So why is he going to get all jerked off about McMahon saying, come on out here, come on?
Yeah, why even give him the benefit of the doubt? Here?
Right. So
not the benefit of the doubt, but why even give him the attention?
Right. And then just, moments later, Austin acts all pissed. So I was like, damn, he should have just not act pissed. He was playing it off cool. So McMahon basically challenged him. He's like, yeah, you got one last chance to come out here and break this contract tonight. I'm giving you till the end of the show. But the thing that I didn't get right away from this is, what are you gonna do? What's the stipulation if he doesn't come down at the end of the show? What do you?
He can't take the match away.
Right, he can't take the match away. He's already having the match. The match is already in a situation where he could lose his title shot if he loses to you. So there's nothing to take from him at this point. It's just, I don't know. It's just more of just hyping up the event, hyping up the match. So he's challenging Austin. Like I said, Austin shouldn't really be fazed by it, but he ends up acting pissed and he throws the monitor against the wall. So that's that. So we have to go through the rest of the show to get more Austin and McMahon. And that brings us to the end of the show, where Mr. McMahon comes back out. He comes out all fired up, like he's all pissed off that Austin never answered him yet. Because really, Mr. McMahon is shitting his pants and doesn't want to have this match. He doesn't want to go up against Austin in a cage, trapped in a cage with Austin. So he's hoping that he could get this match canceled ahead of time. So McMahon is kind of pissed off about that. So he's going to confront Austin, and Austin's going to come out. So let's take a listen to what happens there at the end of this episode of Heat 29.
Austin! Come on, come and get it! I didn't want to have to do this. Austin, your time is up. How appropriate. How appropriate, Austin, your time is up on St. Valentine's Day.
Well, the hatred in his eyes. Hatred is so poisonous, though, Shane.
Oh, yeah.
It can eat you alive.
St. Valentine's Day. Cupid, bows and arrows. Love conquers all. Love makes the world go round. What a load of crap.
You tell him, Pop.
Because, Austin, when I think about you, one word comes to mind. Hate. I don't mean hate like all of you in this arena say the word, oh, I hate this or I hate that. Unless you're Vince McMahon and you don't know, you can't feel the meaning of the word hate. Austin, I loathe the ground that you walk on. And if you make me do what I have to do in this cage match, so be it. I will do it with as much hate as I possibly can. Austin, I'm giving you 10 seconds to come out of here right now. 9, 8, 7,
He's on the clock.
6, 5, I'm coming back. 4, 3, 2.
Where's Austin? Wait, what? Wait a minute.
That's it. Commissioner, what is it Michael's doing here? Commissioner Shawn Michaels. No good, Michael. He's here. You remember what happened last time?
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen Shawn since the corporate assault. This is where he's going to get his revenge on Mr. McMahon.
Shawn's not doing a thing.
Shawn is going to take care of Mr. McMahon right here. I got to believe.
What is Michael's doing here? Let me tell you one thing. That hatred of my dad's body is boiling, and hate can make you do things and give you the ability to do things you can never,
What
ever
the hell are
imagine.
you doing here?
Exactly. Answer the question, Michaels. What are you doing here?
Hello, Vin Man. How's it hanging? You remember me, don't you?
Well, he's got Mr. McMahon right where
Your
he wants him.
long lost buddy? You know, Vince, they say if you want to get someone's attention, you should whisper. And believe me, there's nothing more that Shawn Michaels would love to do 24 hours a day than whisper. But I'm afraid that would be a waste of your time and a big waste of my time. I'd much rather take my fist and slam it into that big, fat, ugly face of yours.
Yeah, good luck,
Yeah,
Shawn.
you don't think Shawn forgot about
last time?
the pain of
The
the back surgery
commissioner's
that he
not
had
done, Vince.
Austin's hiding behind your degenerate ass, and you know it.
That's right.
Well, we got it. I guess Stone Cold can hear no more.
That's it. This is it. Perfect. 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 Brilliant pad. Brilliant pad.
What a shame it would be if Austin is provoked now. So close to the steel cage match.
No. Vinnie Mac has got the plan. That's it.
Oh, he's got a look in his eye.
It's combustible. This is the combustible element.
He's gonna do it.
Yeah, that's it. Strike him down, Austin. Strike him down. One shot. Come on.
Shawn is telling him not to.
Come on, Austin. Strike him down, baby. Yeah.
Oh my
Big
God.
rocker.
Oh, this is it.
Oh, that's all
He's
over.
spit in his face.
Doggy.
He's gonna kill Vince. He's gonna
Doggy.
kill him now.
Come on, baby.
You dumb son of a bitch.
Hit him, Austin. Hit him, Austin.
I'm not going to wipe that off because what I'm going to do is use your damn blood to wash it off after the damn cage match.
Oh my God,
and that's all I
pay-per-view.
got to
And
say.
that's it, baby.
All right, so there you had it. You had McMahon come out, tells Austin, your time's up. And a corny line, he says, how appropriate your time is up on Valentine's Day. Love makes the world go around. What a load of crap. When I think of you, one word comes to mind. Hate. That whole sentence, those couple sentences make no sense combined. Nope. Your time is up. How appropriate your time is up. It's Valentine's Day. Love makes the world go around. What a load of crap. One word comes to mind. Hate. I don't love you. I hate you. I guess that's the connection. I don't love you. I hate you.
That's what happens when you're surrounded by a bunch of yes men improving your lines.
Yeah. So, he says to the audience, you can't understand the meaning of the word hate. You think of hate like, nonchalant. He's describing like, oh, like I hate this TV show. I hate this. Like you throw around that word like you don't know what it means. But I hate Stone Cold.
Yeah. I loathe the ground you walk on.
Right. So he says, Austin, I'm giving you 10 seconds to get out here. And then we get a little surprise. HBK's music hits.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pissed off. What the hell are you doing here? And then you get Shawn Michaels who goes, hello, Vin Man. How's it hanging? Remember me? Don't you? You long lost buddy? Like, what the hell is that?
He should have been a surfer.
Yeah. Remember me, Eddie? I was your brother.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yep. You got the reference? So, HBK's going on, and he's talking about he's trying to get. He'd rather punch McMahon's big, fat, ugly face, but he's going to protect Austin, basically. So, and McMahon says, Austin's hiding behind your degenerate ass, and you know it. And then right there, that sets off Austin. So Austin's like, I'm not hiding behind anybody's ass. So Austin comes out, and it's going to end really quickly at that point, as you just listened to. But McMahon wants Austin to hit him before the match so that Austin can get fired. McMahon even spits in Austin's face, which is fucking crazy. I don't think he actually made contact because
I think it's the camera angle.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually hit him with his phlegm.
No. I'm thinking that he maybe didn't even spit. I think he just made the motion of the spit. And Austin just reacted. Yeah. Austin was probably, you're not fucking spitting in my face.
Yeah. You fucking kidding me, Vince?
So he says, you dumb son of a bitch. Austin says, you dumb son of a bitch. I'm not going to wipe that off. Because what I'm going to do is use your damn blood to wash it off after the cage match.
I like that.
And that's all I got to say. So last week I said that's another one of his phrases that he likes to use often. And here he is continuing to use it. That's all I got to say. Instead of using the bottom line all the time. So he's starting to work that in. And just a few things going on in this pre-show leading up to the pay-per-view. You have Mankind's in training for his championship match, and you got some old guys coming back. Dominic DeNucci, which was his trainer, and Iron Sheik and Bob Backlund. They're all helping Mick Foley train like he's Rocky throughout the show. It's pretty funny.
Bob Backlund.
So Bob Backlund's running stairs with him. He wants Mick Foley to run stairs. So Mick Foley finally says, all right, I'll do it. He does stairs. He goes up and down. And then when he gets down, The Rock comes from behind and whacks him with a fire extinguisher and starts to injure his knee. So that's setting up part of the storytelling in their match on the pay-per-view coming up. And, the rest of the show is kind of shit. It's Tessa versus Viscera.
Yeah, I caught some of that.
Yeah. Bossman
I was like, really?
Yeah.
Test and Viscera? Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, limited.
Yeah. Well, look at that. You have Test versus Viscera, but then later on the pay-per-view, you're going to have Mideon versus Big Boss Man. I almost think Test versus Viscera should have been on the pay-per-view instead of Mideon versus Boss Man.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you know how I feel about Boss Man. So.
Right.
And Mideon is fucking a godwin. So.
Yeah.
And Southern Justice. That guy's had some...
Right.
No belong on pay-per-view.
I'd rather have the cool-looking...
At least Viscera was a king.
Yeah, at least he was the king. And Test, at least, was somebody new.
Yeah.
So, even though he sucks.
Yeah, plus he was relatively new. Yeah. He's the guy,
I want to try to get him over a little bit, put him on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
All right.
We knew he sucked.
Yeah, they did. Billy Gunn's going to be the referee for the IC title match that they're going to have. And that's about it. That happens on the pre-show. I did want to point out that Jerry Lawler was running for mayor of Memphis, and that's where the show's taking place. That's where the pay-per-view is going to be. So he ran for mayor that year, 1999. He ended up getting third place out of 15 candidates, and he only got 11% of the vote. So it was very spread out, that vote.
He got every wrestling fan in the area.
Yeah, really. That's pretty much all it was, I bet. So the incumbent continued to be the mayor. Interesting to see Jerry Lawler. Imagine Jerry Lawler fucking being the mayor. He's talking about puppies and shit. And
yeah, on TV. But he's actually like an intelligent guy. Did you also know he's very artistic?
Yeah, he has great drawings.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Even and Bret Hart. Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler are both great artists.
Oh, Bret Hart's artistic too?
Yep. From that era. And they would have like competitions.
No shit. The fuck you have a drawing competition?
Well, maybe there's who could do this guy best or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like that's fucking very opinionated.
Mine's better than yours.
It's like, oh, who drew Spider-Man better? You know?
Yeah, it's all preference, I guess.
All the different artists there's been. It's like, you can't.
Yeah. All right, so that brings us now to the show, the pay-per-view, St. Valentine's Day Massacre in Your House, February 14th, 1999 from Memphis, Tennessee. And it's going to start off with a great video package. It's like a black and white film reel, like 1930s style. And there's this song called My Sweet Valentine. It's a Jim Johnston song. It's like ragtime, jazzy type music.
Man, it sucks.
Yeah, I liked it.
Dude, it's terrible.
It's like that old, I don't know. You have to.
I was high when I listened to it, and I still thought it was terrible.
Oh, man. I don't know. I just like 1930s. Like, I watch a lot of like shows that took place in that era. So I kind of have a fondness for the music. I have the palate for it. I've tasted it before.
Yeah, the palate.
You know what I mean?
I like some of the music, but that one, ugh.
Well, you're going to be able to judge for yourself because we're going to play it in the outro.
Yeah. Hey, don't blame me for this one.
Well, I do.
All my stunners.
But yeah, all stunners out there.
Stunners out there.
But I do want to point out with this same very song that you'll hear at the end, there is a remix to it, and that was going to be used as Big Show's music later in 1999. And then it was going to be resurrected again 11 years later for Luke Gallows to use this remix version of My Sweet Valentine. So you guys probably know of it from that and never heard the original from the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Or if you did, you probably said, oh, this song sucks, and you didn't even think that it was Luke Gallows and Big Show's music. But it's the same lyrics, just changed up a little bit. And one other thing with this pay-per-view is that this is still an In Your House. Even though it's St. Valentine's Day Massacre, it still has like In Your House at the bottom. Like you can barely see it now. I'm trying to like move away from that. But with it said, it's still an In Your House, and this is the biggest buy on pay-per-view for an In Your House up to that point. So with McMahon versus Austin on the card, the main event,
yep.
You know, it makes sense that this is the one that people would order. And
I absolutely believe that.
Yeah, people have been waiting for Austin versus McMahon in a real match. You know, we've had the teases throughout the year. You know, we've had that one where Austin had his hands tied behind his back. You had now the Royal Rumble. You had instances where they had conflict, but now they're actually going to have a one-on-one match.
Yeah, mano-y-mano.
Right. So here they are. But before we get to that, we do want to keep our eye on the world title scene because we know Austin's heading to WrestleMania. Or, you know, we know that's going to happen, but that's kind of up in the air at this moment. But we want to still keep an eye on what's going on with the world title picture. And it's a great world title picture at this point with The Rock and Mankind. And they've been going at it for the last few months and been putting on stellar matches. And I think it continues here with the Last Man Standing match, which is going to kick off at 1 hour, 52 minutes into the show. And it's going to go until about 2 hours and 14 minutes. And did you watch this match, JV? The Last Man Standing?
Yes, some of it, yeah. Yep.
So I definitely think it was a good match. A winner is going to be declared after a 10 count to the opponent. These are the rules. Winner is declared after a 10 count. So they both, whoever gets up, you know, within 10 seconds and their opponent's still down wins the match. Last Man Standing rules. And as they get in the ring, Mankind's going to put his hand behind his back, which is great because he's mocking what The Rock did to him at the Rumble, kicking the shit out of him with the chair when his hands were tied behind his back. Well, handcuffed. And we got The Rock coming out there. The Rock's still wearing his cover his titty gear.
Yes, jumpsuit.
Yeah, his jumpsuit. Yeah. His knockoff Adidas jumpsuit. It's only 2 stripes, right? It's not an Adidas jumpsuit.
It's probably not an Adidas jumpsuit for like...
But it's probably more expensive.
Yeah. It's just like he's in like the Russian mob or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Like or even like early 90s New York mob.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like Sopranos. Sopranos mob.
Yeah, definitely organized crime.
Yeah. He's just like sitting outside drinking coffee.
Yeah.
You know, getting paid to do nothing. Yeah.
How's that guy have so much money? He doesn't do anything.
He's just sitting there.
Organized crime, bro.
All right, so this is going to be the fourth of their major matches since the Deadly Games at Survivor Series 98. And once they get started in the ring, it doesn't last in the ring for long. Obviously, they're going to be all over the place. There's a few nice spots there. There's a DDT from Mankind to The Rock on the table. And there's a shit ton of like TV equipment around. So that looked great because of that. Mankind drops a people's elbow, but he misses. Then The Rock's going to get on commentary at one point, start talking shit. And he starts to beat Mankind's ass at the table. And Mankind's going to hit that classic elbow moments later off the ring apron. I always love that. It reminds me of Cactus Jack, where he runs off the apron, just knocks the elbow. And that knocks Rock down from the table. And Mankind's going to toss the steel steps into the ring. I wonder how much those steps weigh. What do you think? Just off the top of your head.
Those steps, 15 pounds, 20 pounds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure that during this match on commentary, they said it was like 200 pounds.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
going to look it up right now.
It's got to be like 30 pounds, 30 to 50. No more than that. Those steel steps. So The Rock hits Mankind with the chair about 4 times, and then The Rock swings again, and the chair's going to ricochet off the ropes, and it hits him in the face. Then we get a double clothesline out of the ring, followed by a swinging neck breaker by Mankind outside of the ring. And Mankind's going to get back body toss moments after onto the announce table and on the bell table. His legs hit the bell table, and his body hits the announce booth, so it kind of gets like crunched in there. That looked pretty brutal. So Mankind gets up, he crawls into the ring. The Rock's going to set up the corporate elbow. The Rock gets the mic, and he threatens Earl Hebner. Hey, you better count faster. The Rock starts singing, fucking SmackDown Hotel like he's Elvis.
I remember,
yeah. He pushes Hebner out of the ring. Mankind puts the mandible claw on him at 2 hours and 10 minutes. The Rock's going to hit a low blow, then hit a DDT. Mankind's going to hit the double arm DDT onto the steel chair. And The Rock is going to make his way up. But as he does, Mankind gets Mr. Socko ready. He connects with it. The Rock's going to break and hit the Rock bottom. They hit each other with the steel chairs, and they both drop to the mat. So they both hit each other with the chairs and drop to the ground. And The Rock has his leg on the rope, which doesn't matter because it's shoulders down. And Mankind has his shoulders off the mat too. So I guess you don't have to be flat back. I guess it just means you don't stand up, right? Last man standing.
Yeah. Yep.
So they both.
You don't answer. Yeah, you're not answering the count.
Right.
And I think
right. You didn't get up.
The count ends when you get up.
Yep. So they're both down for the 10 count. The crowd is pissed. They just rip shit. This crowd, like booing. Which, from time to time, it's okay to have something like this. These guys have been in a feud, so it's okay for both of them to draw every once in a while. You know, at least one time. And this one time is perfect because it's leading up to WrestleMania. So the title doesn't change hands. Mankind remains the champion. They're both taken away on a stretcher. The Rock gets a neck brace, and they go off in separate ambulances. So there's that. So Mankind is still the champion as of right now, headed into WrestleMania. And that brings us to the main event, which is the steel cage match, which will determine whether or not Austin keeps his title shot at WrestleMania. So this match is going to start at 2 hours and 27 minutes and go to 2 hours and 49 minutes. So again, Austin must win to retain. No corporate members are allowed to interfere. No corporate members will be allowed to interfere. And if they do, they're all fired. Every single one of them is fired. All right, so here we are at this match. They're going to use the big black cage, old Big Blue, but painted. And we talked a while back about, I thought it was the last time they used the cage, but nope. Here it is again. They brought it back out. They had started to use the chain link fences already at this point. They just used it a couple weeks back on a match between Triple H and Kane on February 1st. which we just discussed last week. And the reason why I bring it up, and the reason why I think it's important to bring up, I think that this cage was brought back for Mr. McMahon to use, so that it was easy for him to climb, and so it would be just better for the match, better usage. When you have those chain link fences, you can't really climb as well. Especially if you.
Does this qualify as being the big blue cage too?
Yeah, it is. It's the same cage. Okay. They just painted it.
Because I know we had the discussion whether or not it was ever used again.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was just kind of saying. Is that I don't remember when it was, but we did talk about it being not. It was probably the last time it was used, but I forgot about this time. So here it is again. I think this is the last time it's used, but don't quote me on that. But this might be the last time it's used. And it seemed like the chain link fence that was used on Raw 297 from February 1st was like a test run. Then McMahon was probably like, I'm not climbing that shit. How am I going to climb up and down that?
My feet don't fit in that.
And then also for a big spot that's going to happen later in the match, I think this cage is important to use too. Not only, I'm not talking about the McMahon bump. I'm talking about, the finale, which we'll get to in just a moment. So just wanted to bring that up, that I think that they used this cage for that very reason, that Miss McMahon wanted to be able to climb it. All right, so Mr. McMahon climbs the cage, and that's what made me think of it, because right away he climbs it. McMahon's going to circle the ring. Austin's out there. Austin actually comes out first in this, and then McMahon comes out second. So Austin's ready to go. He's been waiting for weeks to get his hands on McMahon. McMahon's been trying to get him to punch him so that this match would never happen. He goes down to Texas and goes to bars and restaurants looking for Austin just to provoke him, to get him to fight. But he wouldn't. He was holding on and waiting for this very night. So Austin's going to run out and chase McMahon around the ring. They do a little run around, and the bell hasn't rung. Okay, no bell has sounded up to this point, and we're already a few minutes in to them coming down to the ring. Austin slams McMahon into the cage, chokes him with cables. They start fighting into the crowd.
Yeah, he's totally controlling this beatdown, because like you said, that match hasn't started yet.
Right.
But
yeah, so this is all happening before the match. And already at this point, I'm thinking to myself, McMahon is a hell of a performer.
Me too.
It's like, wow, this guy, it's like his first, he had the Royal Rumble other times, but this is his first singles match, and looking pretty damn good. It's a brawl. It's an Austin-style match. We're not expecting McMahon to come out there and do some drop toe holds and clotheslines and back body drops and shit like that. And that's pretty basic maneuvers that you probably won't even be able to do. So we're not even seeing that. But he's a damn good character, and he's taking the bumps, he's dropping, he's getting whacked around. And it's funny because his son will be the exact same way. Not a great wrestler, but a great performer. He can take bumps. They do the high spots.
Yep. The little things, the facial expressions in the ring, the way you sell.
Yeah.
There's all these little things that Vince does that just make up for his shortcomings athletically.
Yep. Yeah, they get it. They get the match over with all that. So McMahon dares Austin. He's gonna do this a bunch. He's gonna peg him off. McMahon's gonna peg off Austin a few times there. They're gonna fight up to the stairs. Michael Cole's gonna mention how this led to the setup at Royal Rumble, where they got Austin into the bathroom, and then they beat his ass. So they're trying to say that this might be what's happening again. McMahon's leading him to get jumped again. And again, the match hasn't started, and they're all the way into the crowd. It was funny because I was looking at the match times before watching this, and it said 7 minutes. I was like, oh shit, it's only 7 minutes? What the hell? It's nothing. And now it makes sense. They put on like a 12-minute match before the fucking bell rings.
Yeah.
So eventually they battle.
It's a match. It's not, but it is.
Right. Yeah, because in the record books they just count from bell to bell. Or, on Wikipedia.
Oh, really? So when they... Oh, okay. So if you look at this match in the record books, they actually...
Oh, well, the record
they
books,
don't
I mean,
recognize
like
this at all.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's what I mean, too. The People's Record Book,
Yep.
Wiki.
Right. So, yeah, it only says 7 minutes because they don't go from the time that they came out there and started brawling.
Ah, okay. Which they shouldn't, so that's good to know.
All right, so Austin McMahon, they finally battle back to the cage. Austin's going to slam McMahon's face into the cage, and McMahon falls back, crashing through the announce table. That's a fucking huge spot right there. That's at 2 hours, 35 minutes, 57 seconds. You definitely want to check that out. You've probably seen it over and over, but well worth going back to see McMahon take that huge bump as they climb the cage and just falls backwards onto the announce table. It's fucking great.
The Spanish announce
Yeah,
table.
of course it's the Spanish announce table. Today they don't do that as much because they probably get accused of discriminating.
Yeah. Because, it's not like they've been doing it for decades.
Right. So Austin's going to look down at McMahon, and he's thinking, holy shit. And the refs immediately surround McMahon. The paramedics are going to come out. McMahon doesn't want to leave. Hey, Austin's in the cage all by himself. The bell hasn't rung yet, so the match hasn't even started. You have like the biggest spot, most memorable spot in this match, and the match hasn't started yet.
And Lawler has a good line. He's like, regarding Austin, he's an animal. He just wants to see Vince McMahon bleed.
Yeah, that's great. So we're going to have Austin, like I said, he's in the cage, and he doesn't think it should end like this. So let's take a listen to what Stone Cold had to say in the ring. He's going to grab the mic at 2 hours, 39 minutes. Howard Finkel's about to end the match. He's about to say that this is over. Mr. McMahon can't compete. Stone Cold ain't having it. So take a listen to what he has to say.
Look at Austin smiling.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this bout.
Don't move me. That's bullshit.
What?
When I came here, I said I made a few guarantees going into this match, which haven't happened yet. As far as I'm concerned, the match never really started because when the bell never rang and we was never in the ring at the same time, so he ain't gonna lose that easy.
I guess he's got a point, King, but...
What?
Now, jackass, that's you in the black. Is the son of a bitch still breathing? Well, since he is still breathing, if you want me to finish this can of whoop ass, give me a hell yeah.
What? What kind of human being is Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Stone Cold is not through.
All right, so Austin says it's bullshit. When I came here, I made a few guarantees that haven't been met yet. The match never really started. The bell never rang. We were never really in the ring at the same time. So, we ain't going to lose. You ain't going to lose that easy now, jackass. And he says, the son of a bitch is still breathing. If you want me to finish this, give me a hell yeah. So he asked the crowd to give me a hell yeah if you want me to finish this can of whoop ass on Mr. McMahon. Obviously, the crowd wants the match to continue or to begin. So Stone Cold climbs the cage. He runs after McMahon on the stretcher. Austin flips the stretcher into the ring and dumps McMahon. Just McMahon flops into the ring. Austin slams the stretcher board on McMahon. Austin tosses him into the ring, and Austin enters the ring. The match finally begins. We get the bell sounded at 2 hours and 41 minutes. And here we are. Austin's going to lariat McMahon. He's going to take the neck brace off. Austin drops an elbow on him. Austin's obviously in total control here, just kicking the shit out of McMahon. He calls for the door to be open. He's about to walk out. McMahon is going to peg him off with one finger. Pegs him off one finger. Austin walks back in, and he's basically out of the cage, but McMahon's not going to peg me off. Fuck you. I'm going to go kick your ass some more. So Austin should have just ended it there and went back in the cage and kicked his ass, but he goes back in. That sounds like a situation, since you brought up Valentine's, the horror movie, it's like one of those situations where you could have, run away, but you went up the stairs instead. A little shitty thing there.
Typical shitty horror movie, shitty decision.
Right, you could have got away, but now you went in for more.
Yeah.
So McMahon's going to hit him with a low blow, and he comes back in. And he's going to start to climb the cage. Austin catches him and tosses him over and slams him on the head. Slams McMahon on his head. And then he's going to flip him over. And Austin's going to toss him first face into the cage. McMahon's now busted open. So there was a little gap there where McMahon had a little bit of time to make a little blade job and give himself some color. So McMahon's busted open here, and it's a cool visual. Austin wanted to make him bleed, so here it is. So Austin's going to climb to leave the cage. Again, Austin is basically out again. But now McMahon is going to flip him off 2 fingers. So the first time was 1 middle finger. The second time, 2 double birds. And Austin ain't having that. He climbs back in. McMahon attempts to climb out, so Austin grabs him, slams him into the cage. Austin kicks McMahon in the forehead. And Austin puts McMahon down in the center of the ring. McMahon's bleeding like crazy. He hits the stunner right in the center of the ring at 2 hours, 47 minutes. Austin's going to get on the mat. He starts talking shit to McMahon, jaw-jacking is typical, getting down in his face. And at this point, it's going on for too long. The jaw-jacking is taking a little too long. It's like they're waiting for something. And they are. You get the Giant, we now know as the Big Show, who's being called Paul White. He's going to rip through the ring underneath, and he's going to get in. He's going to take Austin. He tosses Austin right against the steel cage.
Like a fucking doll. Yeah. Like a pair of socks or something.
Just whips his ass. And before I even get to how things end here, Michael Cole immediately, "That's Paul White! That's Paul White!" Now, to me, at that age, what was I, 16? Yeah, 16. Wasn't into reading all the behind-the-scenes stuff. I would get what I could, but I wasn't subscribing to anything. I wasn't in the know with everything that was going on, the contracts and shit like that. You'd hear it from some kids that knew that shit, but I wasn't deep into that. So he says Paul White. It's Paul White. I mean, obviously I know who it is by looking at him, but who the fuck's Paul White?
Same here. Yeah, who the fuck?
What the fuck is Paul White?
That's the best name you could come up with for this guy?
Why'd you have to use his real name?
Yeah, like the thing is, I didn't even know it was his real name. Like, I don't think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Just like, why the fuck are they calling him Paul White? It's the fucking Giant.
The Giant, damn it. Paul White.
B. Hogan.
So that just sounds shitty. I mean, I feel like you should have said something like, "Oh my God, that guy's a monster. This guy's a monster." They don't have to say like, "Who the hell is he?" Because we know who the hell he is. And that would sound stupid. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? We know who the fuck he is. It should be like, "My God, here he is. It's that monster. It's that Giant." Something like that. I felt like they should have said instead of, "It's Paul White. It's Paul White," and then you can name him later. Now they got Paul White. They got to stick with Paul White for a little while before they get the Big Show. And as we'll see later in our episode today, this week's episode, he's going to be called Big Nasty at first. Fucking Big Nasty. All right, so Paul White is in there now, and he's gonna grab Austin. Like I said, he throws him into the cage, and what happens with the cage is it freaking busts open, and he goes swinging on a swivel, which is another reason why I think they use this cage, because the way that this cage is constructed, it slides into slots each part of the cage, so it would go swinging. Whereas with the chain link, it doesn't work that way because it's all wrapped around.
Oh, so that's another good point. Is to in addition to Vince having probably requesting that so he could be a better worker around the cage,
right, to climb it.
It was also better for this spot too.
Yep. So that's probably more the reason why they did it, is for this spot. But it definitely did probably help McMahon. But apparently after they had used this cage, McMahon was like, now I understand why you guys don't like that cage. We're not going to use this cage anymore.
Because there's no forgiveness in that thing.
And the same thing with the rings. Apparently, the rings were very hard, and it was the hardest rings. Like people that came from WCW or anywhere else, when they came to WWF, they're like, "What the hell is up with this ring? It's so stiff." So once McMahon started to take bumps in the ring, he decided, "All right, we're changing the rings."
All of a sudden, wrestlers' well-being
now he cares because he knows he's going to be in there every once in a while. So that's so Austin's going to be swinging, and he hangs on, and then he realizes, hey, shit, I'm on the outside. Let me just jump off. So Austin jumps to the floor. He wins the match. Austin retains his title shot for WrestleMania, and at this point, it's going to be up against Mankind. So pretty cool way to end the match. I thought it was a great match. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Even when I was taking the notes last week, I messaged you. I was like, dude, this match is fucking awesome. This is fucking awesome. I was just...
Yeah, I didn't think it was as awesome as you thought it was.
I don't know. I was pumped for it.
Yeah, you might have just been in a good mood.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, it was good, but, like, and then the more I question it, it's just like, eh. So, like, Big Show shows up, debuts, Paul White debuts. And fucking, fucks up.
Yeah, that's true. Like, he's supposed to be working for McMahon, and he goes in there.
Yeah, first day on the job, he fucked up his role.
He screwed it up. He tossed Austin out. He broke the cage. Well, it still makes him strong, right? Because he broke the cage. So, like, oh my God, look at this monster. And it just backfired.
And strong and dumb.
So
it reinforces that stereotype that tall people are dumb.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, that's funny that he goes in there and he's screwed up. Apparently, there's two theories about what was going on with Paul White before this spot. According to Bruce Pritchard's show, is that Paul White was under the ring the entire show.
What?
Yeah, and they had a TV monitor for him. They had something for him to piss in, and they had like a cooler with some drinks and snacks.
Was he like standing up the whole time? Like he must have had like his own little.
I guess he was laying down the whole time.
Fucking doubt it. Doubt it. A guy that big.
I doubt
he just gets through the ring and.
I doubt it too.
Sorry, Bruce.
It sounds like a cool story for Bruce to tell, but yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, it's just called fucking. That's caca. That's bullshit. It's a lot of rain. They fucking snuck his ass down.
Right, and that's what Meltzer wrote in his report. Is that apparently.
Yeah, I believe Meltzer. He's not a showman.
Before setting up the ring, they brought out a big box with as if it was materials for the cage, and then underneath he snuck.
That makes sense.
So that's probably what happened.
Meltzer's a journalist. You know what I mean? He pushes for the fact and stuff. Pritchard is still an entertainer. Right. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like he's always gonna have that bone in his body.
Yep. Yeah, he wants to make everything sound greater than it is. Yeah.
But I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm not 12 years old anymore. You can't feed me this bullshit.
Yeah, he's under there the whole fucking 4 hours.
Fucking bullshit. And he just gets up and he's all stretched out, ready to go. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right. And it's his first day on the job, and they're going to make him go into the ring for 4 hours.
I know he's in shape. This is when Big Show was in, like, peak physical condition.
He looked great.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked better before. I think he looked better with less weight when he first came in as the Giant in 1995. Not as jacked.
Yeah, he's all. I don't know. I think this adds to the Big Show.
Yeah, and he does.
I think this is his. I felt this was his peak.
Yeah.
Conditioning and look.
Yeah, definitely in the WWF it is. I agree with that. It only goes downhill for a while.
Oh yeah, it's all downhill from here.
Now he looks great today, though. Which is funny.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you give for a skull rating on this match?
I gave it 3 skulls.
All right, I went high on it. I went 4 skulls because of, and then bell to bell obviously can't be 4 skulls, but just the excitement, the build up for it, what's on the line for it, the finish with the Big Show, the cage, the spot with McMahon not being a wrestler but being able to put on a great show. So I just thought it was a great event. Great match in terms of it being a spectacle, not wrestling quality. So 4 skulls for me. And I guess that's generous. Like you said, I may have been in a good mood. I may have been in a good mood because I may have been having some Captain Morgan when I watched this match or something.
Yeah. Hey, that changes everything. Yeah. Changes everything. I can watch something terribly. Like, it depends what kind of mood you're in. See a meme on the internet, one day you think it's stupid. Catch you in the right mood, you think it's the best thing on the planet.
Right. All right, so those are the 2 big matches of the show. I just want to run down the some of the main things from the pay-per-view real quick. Anything that sticks out. Hold on. I'll say the matches and I'll just say, suck. Goldust versus Blue Dust sucked. Hardcore Championship match, Al Snow versus Bob Holly. Bob Holly's going to win the Hardcore Championship, and then that's where he's going to become Hardcore Holly. Big Boss Man versus Midian obviously sucks. WWF Tag Team title match, Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett versus Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown. Nothing going on there. Ivory strips Deborah at the end of the match. That's pretty cool. I guess that's the best thing that happens there. IC title match, Ken Shamrock versus Val Venus. Billy Gunn's the special guest referee. Val Venus becomes the IC champion. I felt like he became the champion a lot earlier than he did, but it was here, like a year after he debuted. And Billy Gunn's going to attack Val Venus after that. You got X-Pac and Triple H versus Kane and Chyna. Chyna fucking fights like a champ here. She's definitely the best woman worker in the company.
Yeah, I caught some of this.
So,
but Kane interferes.
Yeah, Kane gets involved, and he's gonna. And it's funny. Chyna's actually gonna pin Triple H. Triple H, somebody today known as somebody that never puts anybody over, never gets pinned. Gets pinned by Chyna here in 1999.
Yeah, it's because it wasn't his fucking
right.
call.
Yeah, now everything's his call. All right, so that was St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So just based on me running down those early card matches, that show sucked. Other than 2 matches that had any real stakes. The last man standing in the cage match. That'll bring us now to the next night on February 15th, 1999. This is Raw 299. And we're in Birmingham, Alabama. And the road to WrestleMania is set to begin, as the call from Michael Cole. And I think this is becoming a phrase at this point. I don't remember it being really used in 98, 97. I'm sure they did use it, but now there's a big push to be using it at that point, even to this day, right? The road to WrestleMania, the road to WrestleMania. So,
yep.
You have Michael Cole saying it at the very top of the show. And then when we get to the first promo of the show, the opening promo, you got HBK come out, and he's going to say, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the road to WrestleMania." So, yeah, it's definitely something that they've been told to say. And it's funny, Jerry Lawler jumps right in and says, "I thought you already said that, Michael." after HBK says, "It's the road to WrestleMania." So, Michaels is out there. He says, "Let me introduce the 2 participants that will be fighting for the WWF Championship. The first man earned his right by kicking Vince McMahon's ass, Stone Cold Steve Austin." So Austin heads out to the ring. And then the man who will be defending the title to WWF Champion, Mankind. Mankind comes down to the ring. HBK is about to talk, but Mr. McMahon's music hits. Vince comes out with his neck brace. And Austin and HBK have a huge grin on their face looking at the boss with the neck brace on. And McMahon comes out there. He's going to get his asshole chance. Well, let's take a listen to how it all goes down. So take a listen to that.
I stand before you. I stand before you tonight, a broken man. I stand before you tonight, a humble man. Austin.
There are those chants again, King. Please show some respect, you idiots. It's Southern hospitality. It's Alabama. They're idiots. They're all cousins. It's the world's biggest family reunion right here.
What do you want, blood?
Yeah, they do. Listen to them. They're sick.
Austin, You put 12 stitches in my head. 12 stitches! You threw me off the top of a cage.
It was horrible.
But I want to be a better man. I want to start all over.
Come on, give him a chance. He's sincere and he means it.
I want to bury the hatchet. I just want to bury the hatchet. I want a fresh start. I'm just asking you.
Please show some compassion.
What's the matter with you people? I'm simply asking you, Austin, to bury the hatchet. Let's start all over. All I want you to do, all I want is for you to say, I'm sorry.
That's not too much to ask, Michael.
That's all I want.
Say it, please. I wouldn't count on it. Can't we all just get along? Mr. McMahon's a broken man.
You want me to say I'm sorry?
Please.
All right. I can handle that. I'm sorry that I didn't beat your ass worse than I beat it.
Whoa!
And if you think Vince McMahon is still an asshole, give me a hell yeah.
This is awful. I think it's unanimous.
All right, Mr. Commissioner, that's the man that's going to face the WWF champion at WrestleMania. And he's going to face Mankind. Then why don't you do your job? Okay? Why don't you for once give the people what they want? Shawn Michaels, Mr. Commissioner, wants to give the people what they want. Damn it, you know full well that Mankind didn't win that match last night.
It doesn't matter, he didn't lose it. The title does not change hands unless you lose.
These people deserve a rematch.
Yes!
They deserve that rematch here tonight.
Yes! What? That's unanimous!
And they deserve Mankind to face the most electrifying WWF superstar in the world today, The Rock.
The Rock! Be a dream match!
Now do your job. You know The Rock was coerced into defending the title to begin with. You know that.
It's true.
Come on, Michaels. Give them the match they want. And damn it, give them the kind of match they want.
Now what's he talking about? King Mankind may not be physically able to compete.
Hey, Vince, even by my standards, I feel pretty crappy tonight.
All right, McMahon says at the top there, I stand before you a broken man. I stand before you a humble man tonight. Austin, you put 12 stitches in my head. You threw me off the top of a cage. I want to be a better man. I want to start all over. I want to bury the hatchet. I want to start fresh. I'm simply asking you to start all over. All I want to do is say, I'm sorry. And Austin's like, yeah, right, motherfucker. And he grabs the mic. You want me to say, I'm sorry? Okay, I can handle that. I'm sorry I didn't beat your ass worse than I beat it. Then McMahon,
He knew that was coming.
Then McMahon's face when he says that, you got to go back and watch that, guys. The face is hilarious. It's like one of those classic McMahon faces where he's like, what? Oh, great look there. And he said, if you think Vince McMahon is an asshole, give me a hell yeah. So that's the man that's going to face the WWF champion at WrestleMania. That's the man that will face Mankind at WrestleMania. So he's like disgusted that that's the guy that gets to go for the title. So we're all the way back to a year ago. We're back to after Austin won the title, where he hated how somebody like Austin could be the champion. So now he's disgusted again. He's going to be at WrestleMania going for the title again. So we continue there and says, Commish, why don't you give the people what they want, damn it? You know full well Mankind didn't win that match last night. These people deserve a rematch. They deserve a rematch here tonight.
And he's hot. He's hot right now during this. Like, he's pissed.
Super pissed.
He's really trying to lay the pressure on HBK and he's using the people as an excuse to get what Vince wants. He's using the people as an excuse.
Saying, because the crowd too that's there is going to be like, oh, cool, a championship match. They're going to be excited for it, even if it goes against Austin. Like, oh, cool, we want
it goes against their guy.
We want Rock versus Mankind. So he kind of coerces them into having this title match made. He says, do your job. You know The Rock made you defend the title in the first place. Give them the kind of match they want. So now Mankind. Fucking McMankind. I always stumble.
McMahon, like man bear big and tough. It's McMankind.
So Mankind says to Vince, even by my standards, I feel pretty crappy tonight. How about you give me 7 days? And we do this next week on Raw. So then The Rock's music hits, and he wants his fucking title shot. So let's hear what The Rock has to say.
Mankind, you want 7 days, but as far as for The Rock is concerned, you don't even have 7 minutes.
Uh-oh.
For the last 5 months, The Rock has done what he said he was going to do, and that's bash your living brains in. Tonight, the great one and the millions.
And how many?
And millions of The Rock's fans want to see your fat cellulite ass go one-on-one with the great one. So HBK, Shawn Michaels, as far as for The Rock is concerned, you are no more than a Rudy Poo candy ass. So what The Rock wants you to do is know your damn role and make this damn match tonight in front of all of The Rock's fans.
Do the right thing, Michaels, for once in your life.
Wait, Rock, I'll tell you what. You're always out here talking about testicular fortitude. Well, I'll tell you, Shawn, no offense, but I don't need you to make this match because I think you know Birmingham, Alabama knows.
I know nothing.
And the whole damn world knows that Mankind's testicles are full of fortitude.
What a champion.
And I'll see you in the ring tonight.
What?
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa!
We got it.
But make a match, Michaels. Make a final match. Make a match where we've got to have a winner. Make a match. Make your kind of match. Make a ladder match. Come on.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right, since you're putting me in a real tough spot, and Rock, about knowing my roles, you little nickel and dime chump change, I've had roles you'll never have, little boy. So, if you think you can follow it, you little jabroni.
Uh-oh.
The commissioner of the World Wrestling Federation, Mankind, I will take the World Wrestling Federation Championship. I will have it hung above this ring, and The Rock and Mankind will fight to see who is the World Wrestling Federation Champion.
Oh, this is great. Oh, my.
I've got just one other thing, just one little tidbit, stone cold if I may, and that is that you know you're going to WrestleMania. You know you're going to face the champion, but you don't know who the champion's going to be. We'll find that out later tonight. However, we do know who the guest referee is going to be in the WWF title match at WrestleMania. And here he comes.
No chance, that's what you got.
Oh, my Lord.
Yes!
Paul White, 7'1", 500 pounds, will be the special guest referee. The main event at WrestleMania 15.
Finally, a fair and impartial referee. One that the wrestlers can't push around. Look at that. Show some respect to the refs.
Stone Cold Steve Austin still with contempt for Paul White.
So The Rock comes out there. Obviously, he wants to advocate for himself. He wants that title shot. Says, Mankind, you want 7 days? As far as The Rock is concerned, you don't have 7 minutes. Tonight, the great one in the millions. And it's funny when he starts doing this at this point now. The millions and the millions. But the crowd doesn't say anything yet. They haven't learned to say, in millions. So he does it on his own. He pauses waiting for him, but just not happening yet.
Yeah, and right now he's in a tough spot because he's for the crowd to really get behind him. I mean, he's still with McMahon. You got HBK and freaking Stone Cold in the ring. So he's kind of got he's got cheers stacked against him because they're cheering for HBK and Stone Cold.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there. so The Rock says, The Rock wants to see a fat cellulite ass go one-on-one with the great one.
I love when he says that.
Yeah, he says it a few times. He even points it out. I called you that before. He says,
he's been saying it, and it's always funny.
So HBK, as far as The Rock's concerned, you are no more than a Rudy Poo candy ass. Looking back now, Rudy Poo is so corny.
Wicked. I thought the same thing today when I heard it again. I was like, for some reason, just
Rudy Poo. He's gonna say it later in the show, and I'll bring it up again. He says, "Know your damn role, make this damn match." So Mankind says he has the testicles full of fortitude to do it. I'll see you in the ring tonight. McMahon continues on. Michaels, make the match where we can have a winner. Make your kind of match. Make a ladder match. Come on, make a ladder match. So Austin, Michaels agrees basically to do that, and Michael's going to respond to The Rock. Rock, I've had roles you'll never have, my boy. Acting like a badass. Little does he know, 20 years later, The Rock is going to be the biggest action movie star in Hollywood, and Shawn Michaels is doing a Avengers parody movie. So things do change in 20 years. So McMahon wants Austin to know, for Austin to know. Now this is tied to Austin here now. Another announcement pertaining to Austin is that there will be a special ref at WrestleMania, and this special ref will be Paul White. So Paul White makes his way out. Austin's going to peg him off, and it looks like they're starting to build up a little feud between Austin and Paul White, which is great. Paul White comes onto the scene, debuts up against the biggest star in the WWF. So good move by Paul White to jump ship from WCW, especially in 1999. WCW was fucking in the tank at that point.
Yeah, they're not trending the right way.
So he jumps over at the right time and continues his career, whereas many other people that were in WCW, they don't continue on. And that brings us to the match. Now they have this ladder match. This is actually a really good match. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but Austin does do commentary, so that's a good reason to watch this match. The match kicks off at 1 hour 18 minutes on that episode of Raw 299 from Birmingham, Alabama, and it's a pretty solid match. It's up there with all their matches that they've had. It's just another good showing between Rock and Mankind, who have great chemistry together. But I'll get right to the end here. Basically, the way it goes down is they're both climbing the ladder. Mankind and The Rock are both climbing the ladder at the end, and Mankind gets Mr. Sacco out, and Paul White makes his way down to the ring. He's going to interfere. Apparently, it's a ladder match, so no DQ. And this looked great. This looked really cool. Is that Paul White just grabbed Mankind from the top of the ladder, choke slammed him.
Yeah.
And The Rock climbed the ladder, grabbed the WWF Championship, and there you have it. The Rock is now 3-time WWF Champion within the last 3 months. So the titles are just getting bounced around at this point.
Is this where we call it the start of that trend?
I would say this is the beginning of the titles flip-flopping a whole lot. We know Austin's going to win it, but I don't even think he holds it for that long either. I think it's...
Yeah, does he have it at SummerSlam?
I don't think so. I think it's off him before that. But we'll see in the weeks to come. But, yeah, Paul White points to Austin at the end of this episode, says, "You're next, big boy." You're next. He's calling Austin big boy. All right.
Yeah, still the same thing.
Yeah, big boy.
Still the same words Big Show uses today.
So, we have a post-match, Rock versus wait, where am I go? Oh, Extra Attitude. That's what I meant to say. All right, so you're gonna get Extra Attitude. Austin's gonna creep into the ring behind The Rock. He's gonna hit The Rock with the stunner right before the show ends, and then the Extra Attitude segment on the network. If you watch the episode on network, obviously that's probably where you'd watch it. But you get more of the beer drinking. You get The Rock and Austin going back and forth. Like, are you gonna drink a beer with me? I'll drink a beer with you. And then Rock tries to attack Austin. Austin ducks, stuns him. Mankind wants a beer too, so they all have a beer. They all drink it. It's a stunner party, basically, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I think I saw this recently on social media too. Like someone had clipped this and showed it. Yeah. So it was cool to see. I was like, oh, that's where this is from.
Yeah, it's definitely cool with Mick Foley being in the mix too this time. Because they did the same thing before, Rock and Austin, with sharing the beer. Like, all right, we'll be boys for a second, and then Rock tries to attack him.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, but now you have Mankind in the mix. On the Heat, okay, so followed up with that on Heat 30 on February 21st from Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is the next night where the Raw is going to be recorded. Mankind just comes out and talks about how he's disappointed that he's not going to be in the main event now because he lost his title. He mentions that when WrestleMania 2000 happens, he might not be able to wrestle. And I thought that was interesting because that's what WrestleMania is going to be called next year, WrestleMania 2000. So they apparently already knew that.
Which was
right, because everything was called 2000 at that time. Anything coming up was 2000. We've said that before. There's even a whole fucking game system that still goes by that, 2K. So there you have that. All right, so I just thought that was interesting that he brings that up. But he does have to say, I don't know how much longer I have to wrestle. I can't be a jet pilot because I don't like the taste of hard liquor, which is ironic because there's just a story of a pilot that got caught with alcohol in his breath right before taking off. So I guess it's a very common thing, apparently, that they're finally cracking down on after numerous flights.
Interesting.
He said, I thought I was going to WCW. I thought I could go to WCW, but I'm not old enough yet.
I love that. Great
so he says, I want there to be a second referee. I want to be an additional special ref at WrestleMania in the main event. And he has a petition, and he passes it out to the crowd and gets a bunch of people to sign it. He says, we can send Mankind to WrestleMania. Have a nice day. Now, that brings us to Raw 300, right? So that's in Chattanooga, Tennessee, as I just said. It airs on February 22nd, 1999, and it was taped on February 16th, 1999. And before we get into the little bit of business that's going on with the world title scene, I do want to point out that there is no Austin on this show. Austin gets some time off, but there is some Austin news that I have from that week going on. And it starts off first with Bill Goldberg being on the Jay Leno show, and he's going to put out a challenge to Steve Austin. He's going to say that, you know, the money would go to a charity and blah blah blah. But apparently, WCW doesn't really mention it on Nitro. Tony Schiavone apparently says, "Oh, we all heard the challenge heard around the world," but doesn't reference what it was. So they don't bring up Austin. They don't bring up the challenge to Austin. So people that didn't watch Jay Leno don't know what the hell he's talking about. And they didn't show any footage from the interview. So you're not using your public appearance in a great way. It just seems like WCW doesn't know what the hell they're doing. You get Goldberg on Jay Leno. You don't even show any footage. And then you confuse your audience by saying he challenged somebody, not say who it was.
Yeah, and what it seemed like it seemed like WCW doesn't know what they're doing.
They didn't. Right.
Because they didn't.
So that was on the Friday, I think. And then here we are on a Monday. And on February 22nd, Austin's going to be on the Howard Stern show. I meant to look for this to see if I could find this interview to listen to. But he's on the Howard Stern show, and they ask him about it. And he's like, no, you know. Maybe if he comes to the WWF one day where the big boys are, he can. He says he's down in the minor leagues. Maybe one day when he comes to the WWF, we can have a match. So he kind of just dismisses it like it's nothing. He does bring up how, it's ironic though that he who has black trunks and has a bald head just like me. So let's give a little shot there at him. So he's on the Howard Stern show, and he does also bring up on the Howard Stern show that he's going through his divorce, and he points out that that's why he's missed numerous house shows in the past month. So, house show rundown, past few episodes we've been saying, nothing really for Austin, nothing there. That's what he's going through. He's getting his divorce from Lady Blossom, Jeannie Clark, at this time, here in 1999. And there'll be something coming up at WrestleMania. Basically, he forgets his vest. And that's how discombobulated he was with what was going on in his life and trying to get to work and wrestling, and his just mind's not in the right place, so he doesn't even bring his right gear to WrestleMania with him, and it pissed him off that he forgot it. So he did tell Howard Stern that, and he did joke about it though. He says he's looking for a girl between the ages of 18 and 23 now. I definitely have to find that because it was probably a funny interview. Another Austin-related news. He has a lot of shit going on now that he's a big star at this point. So it is the career of Steve Austin. So we do have to bring up, when some mainstream things start to happen for Austin. We talked about Celebrity Deathmatch before and all that. But now he's getting a major role on a show. I guess it's not a major role, but he gets some major appearances on Nash Bridges. Did you ever watch Nash Bridges? See that? Neither did I. Definitely not back in 1999.
Was there cowboy hats in it? Yeah, I didn't watch it.
So this was Don Johnson and Cheech Marin.
Yeah, even worse, Don Johnson. They take guy from Miami Vice that had flashy, flamboyant, shirts. He's fucking flying around on jet ski and boats, and they put a fucking cowboy hat on him, and now he's on a ranch.
I think he's.
I don't even know. I
think
I just remember seeing the pictures. So
like a Texas Ranger or something, like a cop. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. So he's a wannabe Chuck Norris.
I think. I'm not positive.
He's not even the toughest Texas Ranger on television.
So anyway, this is the 4th season at this point when Austin's going to make an appearance on season 4, episode 16, and his character's name is Jack Cage. And he's a police officer. He's on the hunt with Nash Bridges.
Cool name.
And he's going to end up being in 6 episodes altogether over the next 2 seasons. So they really liked Austin, apparently.
How many body slams does he do? Because you're a wrestler in a movie or a television show, they're busting out wrestling.
Yeah. I can picture this. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any clips, but I can guarantee he walked into a bar and body slammed the guy through a table.
Oh, guaranteed.
Definitely. But you just said it's a wrestler in a movie, that new movie, Hobbs and Shaw, whatever. Roman Reigns does the spear on somebody.
Yeah,
right.
It's in the trailer.
He does a fucking spear.
Yeah.
He probably does the Superman punch too.
Stupid. Guaranteed.
All right, so that's what's going on with Austin at this time. So He's not on this episode because he has a lot of shit going on, apparently, and they're just giving him time off. And it makes sense that they would do that because they want that mainstream appeal, so they're going to let him do these appearances, whether he's going to miss a Raw or not, especially when you have a loaded roster with The Rock, Mankind, they got Paul White. So Austin can get a day off. But the only thing I really want to bring up here is that you're going to have McMahon, The Rock, and Paul White. They're going to come out at the top of this show. So this has to do with the world title. That's why it's coming up. And basically what happens is The Rock and Paul White are going to have a confrontation. And they're going to act, they don't get along. So The Rock's not happy that McMahon brought Paul White in. And Paul White is acting like he's the one that put the title on The Rock. And The Rock doesn't like that. He doesn't take too kindly to that. So he comes out. And he tells McMahon, and back to this Rudy Poo. And this one's kind of funny. The Rock turns, because of what I think of like Big Show at the time. I appreciate Big Show now, but throughout his time, I didn't.
No, I agree.
The Rock turns to McMahon, and he just says, "Who is this Rudy Poo?" Like, you came from WCW. I'm the fucking champ here. I'm the big star here. Who the fuck are you? Like, you're in a different world now. And it is funny to look at, Big Show coming in at that point, and now he has a new cast of characters to mix with. That's always cool when somebody jumped over, and now you can see them in different situations.
Yeah. Yep.
So The Rock's not too happy about that. Paul White's going to call The Rock the Pebble. Ha ha ha. Of course you got to use that joke.
Yeah, corny, so bad.
So Vince is going to try to calm things down, and The Rock says he's not joking about this, and he's pissed off. And Mankind's going to come out. He tells them, "Can't we all just get along?" And he says he'll be a moderator. He says, "Well, I could be like a referee." And he pulls out Mr. Sacco. Mr. Sacco's dressed as a ref. He's got stripes painted on his sock. So he wants to show the commissioner that he can be a good referee for WrestleMania. And that this would be a warm-up match for him between Paul White and The Rock. And he'll be the ref. So Vince tells him to beat it. Paul White grabs the mic, says he wants to do it. The Rock says he'll do it. And they decide to do it. Vince McMahon, prior to the match, is trying to get Rock and Big Show, Paul White, to not do this. And they decide to have it anyway. It's going to be a World Championship match, Rock versus Paul White. But you don't really get a championship match. It was all set up to kick the shit out of Mankind for no reason, basically. So The Rock and Paul White, at the top of the match, right when it's about to start, they just both turn to Mankind and kick the shit out of him. And McMahon's laughing. He says, "Yeah, this is the WWF. This is what we got here in the WWF." Like fucking going like a maniac. Like he gets every once in a while. He just starts saying a bunch of bullshit. So he was on commentary for it, and he starts to lose his mind when they're starting to kick the shit out of Mankind. So the crowd's chanting for Austin, but sorry, there's no Austin this week. And the corporation's all celebrating in the back. It was just a setup to fuck up Mankind, who always gets his ass beat. He lost his title last week. Now you're gonna fucking humiliate him some more. He just wants to be the damn referee. He doesn't even want a title shot.
Yeah, I know.
So that concludes our coverage of Austin's career during that time in February 1999, St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and the couple of Raws after that, leading up to February 22nd there. So next week we'll continue on, starting to March. Okay, we'll cover the first few weeks of March. Yeah, marching into WrestleMania.
Yeah, really.
But we do have some Attitude Era updates with some of the other major storylines, and there is another storyline that's starting to build up to become more important as things are going on in the show, and that's the Ministry of Darkness and the Corporation. They're starting to build up their feud a little bit here. So let me just run down some of the things.
Led by the boss man.
Fucking boss man.
And the corporation.
All right, so let me just run through some of the things that happened here real quick. On Raw 299, February 15th, The Undertaker cuts a promo saying that there is a greater power, even greater than himself, and he will own the WWF. So there's the debut of the reference to a greater power, which is all going to fall apart when it gets revealed. So Undertaker's threatening McMahon with this greater power. Makes no sense. On Heat, McMahon's going to have a promo. He warns Austin that there's a price to pay for getting in his face, and he's going to turn his attention to Undertaker and the Ministry and say, this envelope that you gave me, which happened previously, just a week before on Raw. Later in Raw 299, rather. Somebody ran out and gave Shane an envelope. Said, give it to your dad. And Shane McMahon was all scared like he was going to piss his pants. Don't cut me, don't cut me, don't cut me. So, yeah, that's what he says. So, on that Heat, McMahon has the envelope, and he said he read it, and he tells Undertaker, you don't want to go there. Don't go there. Don't you threaten me like that. Not like that. Back off. So McMahon is kind of offended with what was in that envelope and what the ultimatum, I guess, was of what they will do. Which I'm excited to see when they get to that, because I know what it is. Do you remember what it is? Stephanie. It's about Stephanie. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. It is about Stephanie?
Oh. Yeah.
I know she's coming up soon. Like, she shows up and starts to have a role.
They're leading to that now.
But what's... All right, I don't know. I'll watch it.
So McMahon tells Undertaker he's going to face Kane in an Inferno match next night. So they have that Inferno match, and McMahon's on commentary. Paul Bearer's going to come out down to the ring on... This is Raw 300, the February 22nd Raw. And this is at the very end of the show. And... McMahon's on commentary. Paul Bearer comes out with a box, a gift. He says, open it up, and it's a fucking teddy bear. There's a teddy bear in the box. McMahon is, freaked out by it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's supposed to be, something from his childhood. I don't remember, but I think that's what it was. But he has this teddy bear, and he's all freaked out that he was given to it. He was given it. And ultimately what happens in the match we have going on here, Kane has a chair, but his foot catches on fire as he's trying to hit the Undertaker. So the match ends, Undertaker wins. And Undertaker gets in the McMahon's face. He takes the teddy bear from him, lights it on fire. Then Vince starts to cry as the teddy bear burns. So some crazy shit going on there. One other little thing that happened there, this was just random, is the Brood, part of the Ministry. They have a match with Public Enemy, and I just wanted to bring that up because it's weird to see Public Enemy here in 1999, looking all fat and slow and shit.
Yeah, I did catch this.
And they take a bloodbath. But then the Ministry kicks the shit out of the Brood for getting DQ'd during that match. So they got some weird shit going on in that Ministry.
Yeah, you didn't
right.
perform up to standards, so we kick your ass.
Yeah, no shit, huh?
Tough love.
All right, and then we get we have the Corporation and DX storyline going on. So the Corporation's kind of making their way into every storyline. They have the Corporation tied into the world title picture, Corporation with the Ministry, Corporation with DX. So yeah, it's like the NWO. They're just taking over every storyline. So just to kind of give you an idea of what's happening with the Corporation and DX, it's mainly centered around X-Pac and Triple H because that's all DX really is at this point. Road Dogg's out. He's rehab. Billy Gunn's involved in the IC title picture and the love triangle. And then you have China, who's now in the Corporation. So you're left with X-Pac and Triple H. And they're going to get into it with Shane McMahon and Kane and China. So it's those three kind of against those two. And they had a match on the pay-per-view. And the next night, on Raw 299, Triple H and X-Pac, they want a rematch. Shane McMahon comes out with Kane and China. Shane gives Kane and China the night off. X-Pac says, hey, why don't we trade one bitch for another bitch? You take her place. So X-Pac's calling Shane a bitch. He wants him in the match. Shane claims, everyone knows I can beat you. Triple H calls Shane a puss because he won't fight him. And Shane says, I'll fight in a tag match tonight as long as the European title's on the line. So they have a European title match. This is Shane's first match on Raw 299, his first match ever, WWF, February 22nd. Chyna's going to hand him the belt. Shane hits X-Pac with the belt. Chyna's going to the referee's distracted, of course. Chyna's going to slide in to remove the belt out of the ring. Shane gets the 3 count, becomes the new European champion. So in Shane's first match, he becomes the fucking European champion. And then he yells in the back.
Nepotism at its finest.
He says, "I'm going to WrestleMania." It's great heat though, because that's what you think. It's like, they're fucking just letting his son wrestle. It's easy heat to get. His fans are gonna be like, "Fuck that guy."
Yep.
Just like today, Shane McMahon wins the world title. That pisses people off, but people will watch or not. Shane McMahon's going to defend this title against Gillberg. And this is fucking funny. This is on Heat 30. Gillberg's going to spear Shane. Gillberg looks shocked, like, holy shit, it worked. He gets like distracted by how surprised he is that the spear actually worked on Shane. Because for everybody else, it never worked. Nobody moves. So Chyna's going to distract Gillberg. Shane whacks him with the bell. He gets the easy win in like 20 seconds. Gillberg's then going to spear Chyna, but he just falls flat on impact. Then she gives him the pedigree. Chyna wants a match with X-Pac on Raw because X-Pac's going to come out and challenge Shane to a match at WrestleMania. So Chyna basically says, you got to beat me on Raw. And they have their match, Chyna versus X-Pac on Raw 300. Chyna's going to get the win. X-Pac's going to get the win there. And he's going to get his chance to go up against Shane. So he says, 1 bitch down, 1 to go. And those are the two major side storylines going on.
1 bitch down.
Actually, Triple H actually says that
sweet.
at the end of the match. He comes out and says that 1 bitch down, 1 to go. Yeah. Would have been cool if X-Pac said
it. Yeah, definitely. Probably would have said it better too.
You had the love triangle going on. Val Venus, Billy Gunn, Shamrock. It's just, nothing special there. We know that the title changed. Val Venus got the title. And he's going to dump Ryan Shamrock, so I guess that's notable to know. He's going to kick her to the curb. And it looks like she's out of the picture for now. And Godfather's going to fight Shamrock. Shamrock is now going to get involved with Billy Gunn because he runs out during his match. Ryan Shamrock gets yelled at by Ken. He grabs her, goes to the back with her. Basically forces her out. Get out of here. Don't need you here anymore. And she sucks. Ryan Shamrock sucks in these segments. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why she didn't last. Like, she's gone. Like, there's no way she's still on TV.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Right?
But it does remind me of one part, now that you say, I was thinking of how bad she sucks, is at the pay-per-view at St. Valentine's Day Massacre during the match between Val Venus and... What the fuck was it? Val Venus and Shamrock? Yeah. It's Billy Gunn as the referee. Ryan Shamrock comes down, and she's supposed to slap Ken Shamrock, and Ryan Shamrock's frozen. She doesn't know what to do. So Ryan Shamrock says, "Slap me," and you can hear it clear. Yeah, the camera and the mic was too close. Shamrock is just telling her what to do. Slap me, and then she does. So yeah, that's a little shit show going on there. Yeah, that's it. And it looks like that's coming to an end. And the title pictures, the IC title picture is still within Val Venus, Shamrock, Billy Gunn, but looks like Ryan Shamrock might be out of the picture at this point. The Hardcore Championship, we know Bob Holly just won the title, and he's going to have a match with Steve Blackman. All these Hardcore matches, I think they're pretty cool. They're pretty good. And they're like the lengthiest matches on all these Raws at this time. They're the only ones that they give a lot of time to. It's probably because they have to move throughout the arena so much.
Yeah. It does make everyone in the audience feel involved.
Yeah.
Like if you buy a ticket to an event, then there's a damn good chance, like a better chance than usual that you're gonna have interaction with the one of the wrestlers or
Talent,
performers.
yeah.
You know, one of the on-air talents.
Yeah, you can slap somebody in the back.
Yeah.
And get their sweat all over you.
Like, yeah, they were right there.
I touched them.
You don't tell them how you walk like 4 rows to get closer, though.
Yeah. All right, so Bob Holly, the new champ, he comes out. He has that match with Steve Blackman. He's going to get the win, but then he's going to rush back to the ring. He's going to cut a promo about how he's been saddled with shitty gimmicks his whole career, and he's all done with that crap, and he's going to take on all comers. He's going to kick the shit out of anybody, challenges anybody. And his former partner comes out, Bart Gunn. He comes out and challenges him. And on the same very episode, Butterbean's in the audience with another one of his Bill Cosby sweaters on. And they're just reminding people that there was this Brawl for All match, and it looks like they're building to that again for WrestleMania. So a couple times throughout the commentary of this Raw, Jerry Lawler brings up the Brawl for All, and then you finally know why when Bart Gunn comes out, and then you see Butterbean.
I saw this. So terrible.
Yeah. So
Bart
they're
Gunn.
setting up for that, and Bart Gunn's gonna get his ass kicked. Oh man, it's funny because he kicked the shit out of all these wrestlers, and then he's gonna go in there and just get dropped. Man, I'm looking forward to watching that 5 seconds again. And then you have Steve Blackman and Draws, and Draws fuck off with this guy already.
Yeah, he gets so much airtime every week now.
Yeah, it's enough of him. And I don't even know why I have that as a fucking note, but it's there. So Hardcore Holly, yeah. So Raw 300 next week. Hardcore Holly has a match with Bart Gunn, and it's pretty decent. They go throughout the arena and shit. But what happens in the end there is a mask guy comes out and takes Bart Gunn, knocks him off the ramp, and throws him onto the table. Throws him onto a table off the ramp, and Bob Holly's going to get the win. Oh, there's that. So the masked guy is wearing like a Japanese mask. He's wearing like Japanese type gear. It's fucking Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
I guess apparently like a week before he was on USWA television, and he was down there just like warming up, I guess, and he was wearing that whole gimmick with the mask and everything.
No
And
shit.
he said that he was going back to WWF, and he's pissed off at the USA, and his whole gimmick was to be like I'm like a legendary wrestler in Japan, so now I'm gonna like be Japanese. I'm not taking this mask off until I'm the WWF champion.
Wow.
But that was just on USWA. Apparently, they just dropped the whole thing and never used it in the WWF television at all, which is probably a good call.
Yeah, that was one of the better decisions.
Yeah. Just the two other storylines going on here is the never-ending D-Lo and Mark Henry. Mark Henry gets injured, so this is going to come to an end soon. They had their feud going on with Jeff Jarrett, Owen Hart, Deborah, with Ivory. So there's that. That continues on. That looks like that's coming to an end. But Sable, the other last storyline here in the Attitude Era notes is that Sable turns heel. And she's going to come out on Raw 299. Yeah, comes out Raw 299. Yeah, and you can tell this is not her acting. This is fucking probably who she really is. Because when she tried to be nice, that was shitty acting.
Yeah, this came across too natural for her.
Yeah, this came off as real. Like, she comes up, she tells the fan to get in the ring, Tori, and she tells her, look, you nut, I'm sick of you harassing me. You'll never be like me. You're just a wannabe, just like all of them. So the very next week, she comes out again, does a similar promo, and Luna comes out, and Luna sucked. Luna sucked on the promo.
Yeah, she's trying to get, sympathy, I'm an ugly woman, basically.
Right, yeah. Yeah, Luna admits not all women can be as pretty as you, and they have to deal
Sable's
with the cards
too bad, bitch.
Right, exactly.
Women are like that. Women are cutthroat.
Yep. She laughs
not all
at
women,
her.
but you know what I mean.
Yep.
Any women listeners out there, don't be offended.
Yeah. You know what we mean. So Sable laughs it off. She don't care about women. She only cares about the men. And then all the men pop in the audience. And she plays her music. She struts her ass off. Yeah. So that's the Attitude Era update. So a lot of weird shit going on at this time outside of Austin and the world title scene. But That's the Attitude Era, and it's going to get crazier throughout 99, if I remember correctly. I remember kind of getting lost by the end of 99. I think I lost some interest going into 2000, and I didn't watch it as much. 2000, 2001. Now, there were things that I did watch here and there, but I definitely wasn't watching every week.
Yep.
After 99.
I
guess part of it is I started working when I was 16.
Yep.
And if I worked Monday nights, we wouldn't close until like 10, so I wouldn't get
That's
home
right.
until like
So
the
you'd
last
miss it.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd miss part of it. So I'd probably see the very end, and that was it. So, but yeah, that's it. Let's wrap things up here. We got a house show rundown. So we left off at the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and I'm pretty sure Austin last week was back on the house shows just prior to St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So let's see what he's got going on here. After St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and on February 18th in Lexington, Kentucky, he has a match with Mankind against the Rock and Kane in a Texas Tornado match. On February 19th, you get the same match where Austin and Mankind defeat the Rock and Kane. On February 20th, same match again in New Haven, Connecticut. The prior day was St. Louis, Missouri. February 21st, Springfield, Massachusetts. You got Mankind, Steve Austin, and Billy Gunn defeat The Rock, Ken Shamrock, and Big Boss Man. See, why the fuck Springfield gonna get screwed out of a good main event? Mankind, Austin, and Billy Gunn against The Rock, Ken Shamrock, and Boss Man. Blech. The rest of that card sucked. And then that's it. So Austin was back on the house show at that point. And teaming up. Okay, I always say it with the house show rundown. If he's teaming up, that's because they want to make it easy for him.
Yeah, they're trying to give him an easier, a light work,
Yep, definitely. All right, let's get to the oh hell yeah moment. JV, what do you got for an oh hell yeah moment this week?
My oh hell yeah moment went to the post show antics between Mankind, The Rock, and Stone Cold.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love that kind of stuff, and that kind of just fits the type of shit. That's the type of shit I like about wrestling, where they're just kind of ad-libbing it, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It's
cutting loose.
Yeah, like a whose line is it anyway type thing.
Yeah, an improv.
Yeah, improv. That's the fucking word.
All right, so I gave a fucking match 4 stars, so I can't. My oh hell yeah moment would have to be greater than something that's 4 stars, or 4 skulls rather.
Yeah,
so,
you're committed.
Yeah, I'm committed. I have to go with the Austin McMahon match, St. Valentine's Day Massacre, steel cage match. But with that said, I'll go with my oh hell no.
Oh, hell no!
And my oh hell no moment of the week is Michael Cole yelling, "It's Paul White! It's Paul White! It's Paul White!" And the fact that they just decided to use Paul White's name, that's oh hell no of the week for me. What do you got for an oh hell no?
Mine is going to have to be Goldust versus Blue Dust.
That's an easy one. That's like a layup one.
Yeah, you fucking talked about it, so that's a layup.
I didn't talk about it. All I did was say Goldust versus Blue Dust.
Hey, you said it. You said the name. That's all you got to do.
Luckily, I think Blue Dust is out of the picture.
It was on the show. It was on the episode. It shouldn't have been. You should have ignored it. You addressed it, so hell no.
All right, so those are our oh hell yeahs and our oh hell no's. Upcoming next week on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast on August 14th is episode 43, and we'll be covering Raw 301, 302, 303, first 3 weeks of March. So that's March 1st, 8th, and 15th of 99. So we'll be covering that next week on our road to WrestleMania. But I do want to give some shout outs to some podcast pals. First, starting with Talking Taker. It's the career of The Undertaker. Okay, much like what we do, Alex and Travis are breaking down Undertaker's career from pay-per-view to pay-per-view. And take a listen to what Alex has to say about his show.
Dead man walking.
Oh, hell yeah. What's up, Stone Cold fans? This is Alex Dorio, one of the hosts of Talking Taker. And along with my co-host and fellow creature of the night, Travis White, we are digging up the career of the dead man, one pay-per-view match at a time, on a podcast journey that's a lot like what you're listening to right now on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. So if you're enjoying what Mike and JV are doing here, going through the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, come check us out as we explore The Undertaker's 3 decades of destruction. We're right in the midst of the Biker Taker era right now, so you can jump right in or start over from the beginning and hear us discuss The Undertaker's side of the story from his many battles with the Rattlesnake, The Rock, Mankind, and more. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, YouTube, Spotify, and more. And you can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Talking Taker. Thanks to Mike and JV for letting us plug the show, and take her easy. What? I said take her easy.
All right, so definitely take a look at Talking Taker. They are in 2004 currently, so the whole archive of stuff for you to go back and listen to. So definitely join the ride with Talking Taker. Also want to shout out Booking the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast, where they break down episodes of NWA, WCW Saturday Night episodes, and the Smoky Mountain Wrestling episodes. They are currently in 1988. They're covering April 9th, 1988 on the NWA WCW Saturday Night Show. Those drop on Thursdays. And the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Recap Show, they're on episode 155, which is January 14th of 1995. Those episodes come out on Sunday. Also, remember, JV and I do the Extreme ECW Livecast on the Book in the Territory Patreon feed. And this past week we did episode 6, which is Hardcore TV 11 and 12 on June 15th and June 22nd. And next week, next Wednesday, we'll be finally covering the Super Summer Sizzler Spectacular. So definitely take a look at that. And I also want to give a shout out. Okay, this is a new shout out. Just we got shout out on a show, so I definitely want to return the favor. Check out Our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Michael Quinn and Joe Murata. These guys break down the WWF retro style. Great show, great quality, awesome show. So definitely take a look at them. Also want to shout out our boy, Jay Free Your Geek. This past week, Jay Free on Free Your Geek gave us a nice big shout out. JV, did you hear it?
No, I haven't had a chance to listen yet.
Yeah, but he shout out a bunch of his podcast pals, and we were on there. And Jay Free does a great show.
I'll be listening. I usually listen when I'm mowing the lawn or, work's a little slow. I usually put podcasts on in the background, and that's
what I do.
It's on my playlist now. So
yeah. So take a look at Free Your Geek. He breaks down all different things in the world of geekdom. Whether it's comic book movies, cartoons, comics, wrestling from time to time. So go back and check out Free Your Geek. Free Your Geek. Just get out there and just be free with being a geek. So those are our podcast pals. And you can reach us on Twitter. JV and I are both on Twitter at MPRU83 is mine. And JV is at John Van Damage. And our show is at Bottom Line Cast. Also, for our ECW show, we're at Extreme Cast. And tell your friends about us. Spread the word. We're on basically all podcast platforms. Just search for us, Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. We're on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. You can check that out. If you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star review. It's nice to see that in the new wrestling category, we are ranked. Our name is on there. Not as high as we would like, of course, but it only gets higher the more you spread the word. And it's nice to just even be up there amongst the many wrestling podcasts. So thanks, guys, for listening. And it's all because of you guys listening out there that, this is worthwhile. So we enjoy it, but we want to be talking to somebody, not just ourselves. So thanks, guys, for listening. JV, any final words this time?
No, sir.
All right. For JV, I'm Mike Prue. We are out of here until next week. See you later, Stunners. So long.
Just for you.